Hi Pisces, I have your 2019 year in advance reading for you. So if you're new to me, I shuffle before I start recording because it's really hard to shuffle with one hand. And I cut in front of you. So I will cut the deck right now in front of you. And as I cut the deck, we're going to go ahead and talk about who this reading is for, because obviously it's for Pisces. But if you're a Pisces Sun, you're going to want to watch it. If you're a Pisces Moon, you're going to want to watch it. If you're a Pisces Rising or Ascendant, you're going to want to watch it. If somebody in your family is Pisces and you want to know what's going to happen for them this year, you're going to want to watch it. Now, it is a general reading. It's not specified to you particularly as a person. It's for all Pisces, okay? So a lot of it will make sense, but it might not make 100% sense for you. All right? Okay. So let's go ahead and start to shuffle it out. What I'm going to do, or not shuffle it out, but lay it out. I'm going to do 4 cards on the top, 4 in the middle, and 4 on the bottom. There, I'm going to read in trimesters. The year will be in trimesters, okay? So I'm just going to take from the top, and we have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December, okay? Here is your 2019 year in advance. Thank you so much for watching. No, I love to do that to you guys though. Okay, so I'm going to turn each card. I'm going to bring it over here and we're going to like zoom in and really talk about the card, all right? Are you ready? Are you still mad at me for that joke? Okay, we're going to start anyways. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead. January 2019. And we've got movement as the key word. But take a look at this card. Do you see movement? In the water, we see some movement, okay? Which means our emotions, we're gonna have to just let them flow. Let them go, let them flow. Let them flow, let them go. However you want to go about doing it, okay? The point is, do not hold on to those emotions. Do not think you're justified in carrying them, okay? Because honestly, all it's going to do is make you sick. It's going to give you an ulcer. It's going to make you sick. Now, besides the water moving, we don't really see any more movement. So, a lot of clients will tell me, but Maria, I'm not moving. No, darling. You are moving. This picture has movement. The problem is, and it's not even really a problem, okay? So I don't want you to even use that word. What's happening is this image, this photo, let's call it, is one brief second of an entire day. Do you see what I'm saying? How are you going to take a picture of one brief second and tell somebody that there's movement or there's not movement happening in that photo? Of course, there's not movement happening in that photo. Everything was a brief movement, a brief second, okay? So, you really want to get out of 2018. You've got your goals, you've got your resolutions. I hate that word, but you've got them, right? And you don't see anything happening. You're like, oh my God, we're already in the middle of the month and nothing is going on. There's so much going on. It's just not at visible level. Okay? So if we take a look at these plants on these mountains, there's animals in there. Those animals have got to be moving. If we take a look at the plants, they're growing. Just this picture doesn't show it. If we were to have a picture of this exact scenery at the exact same second every day for a week, for a month, for a year, we would see movement. Okay? So don't let one brief moment, don't let one day tell you there's not movement happening. But also make sure that you're not holding on to your emotions, Pisces. All right. Let's check what February has in store for you. February has a new promise as the key word. And I know the first thing you saw was that couple. Oh my God, Maria, am I going to have a new relationship if this is valid for you? Is my marriage going to get stronger if this is valid for you? It's very possible. But I am thinking this is a relationship within yourself. Okay? The female aspect here and the male aspect here are the balance within yourself. The new promise, right? The new moon. And this really isn't the new moon, but okay, we'll just go with it. It's new beginnings. So that month of January, and let me bring the card back over, right? Where you're freaking out because you're not moving enough. And you're trying to hold on to emotions. You've learned the balance. Okay? You've learned to let go of your emotions. You've learned to be strong with your emotions. You've learned to be feminine with your emotions, and you've learned to be masculine with your emotions. The emotions are probably still going to send you for a loop-de-loop. And the reason being is because this water is kind of choppy, right? But I want you to take a look now at the coloring of the sky also. We have pinks, love. We have golds, royalty, rebirth, all kinds of beautiful things, right? And we've got blue, healing. Okay? There's a lot of clouds in the sky, so a lot of thoughts are overwhelming you with this new beginnings card. I don't want you to get too overwhelmed with it, okay? Just accept it for something beginning. February is going to bring you something nice, all right? It's going to open doors for you, okay? Let's see what March has in store for you, Pisces. Earth magic. Okay, so you are a water sign, but that doesn't mean that you can't create magic. You can't garden. You can't be connected to the earth. I know so many people who will say, well, depending on what element your zodiac sign is what element you have to be. I will be the first to tell you, I am not that strong with the element that I am supposed to be. I am much stronger with another element. Okay? So, your element, Pisces, is water, emotion. But this card is saying, you know what? Spend some time in nature. Be strong in nature. Ground, center. Grow a garden. Relax. And understand that your element, water, and earth create magic. Without water, pretty much nothing on earth is going to survive. You're extremely important. The two of them can merge. They can create a synergy. Okay? So, what is earth? Earth is grounding. It's stable. In your emotions, you're going to need to stay stable, okay? And that's the only way you're going to be able to create. And I know this sounds like, oh my God, you just cursed me. No. You'll understand in March. Okay? April. Nurturing. And we have Gaia. We have Mother Earth. So, remember how I was saying water is super important for Earth? Water is super important for life. Look at that water. But it's nice and calm. It's not destructive. It's not getting away from Mother Earth. It's doing what needs to be done to create, right? It's giving water. It's giving life to the earth. So, your emotions, from what we've had a few minutes to see, can get away from you. They can start to control you. And just like a tsunami, your emotions can start destroying things around you. But if we can learn to control our emotions, to be okay with our emotions, to have our emotions help us instead of betray us, we can begin creating amazing, beautiful things. Right? This is what this card is telling you. Take care of yourself, nurture yourself, love yourself. Get some damn spa days if you need to. Okay? Go sit in the library or the coffee shop, whatever it is that you want to go, and read whatever it is that you love to read. Take care of yourself, because this is the only way you can take care of your emotions. And the two of them working together, your emotions and being stable and grounded, is going to let you create everything you want this year. Okay, so let's take a look for just 1 second at this. Let me just come over here like this. stretch and reach over these cards. Do you see how the card that was movement, and we were talking about, well, there's no movement, is very, very similar to the card that is nurturing? Okay, so if this card that you want movement on is a card for your resolutions, in order to get those resolutions, you also have to take care of yourself. Okay, now I want you to take a look at how this scenery is, and then I'm going to try to zoom in right here. It didn't work very well. Maybe we got it. This other movement card could be a real close-up of this spot right here. Okay, let me come back out so you can see this. Do you see that? Your goals, your resolutions, your desires for this year is just a small aspect of so much more that you can create. Keep that in mind and take care of yourself while you're trying to create it, okay? Don't overwhelm yourself. May. New beginnings. Another new beginnings card with more water. Okay, so something I've been noticing with all of the zodiacs is there's a lot of water. This year is going to be emotional. Last year was extremely emotional. This year is going to be emotional too. But with this second new beginning, new promise, new moon card, a dawn now, you have the option of looking at it differently. Last year, it was emotional and it was like, oh crap, I hate this. This year, it might be emotional, but it can be emotional because it's brand new. It's exciting. Things are changing, okay? It's your perception on how you want to see it. Now, we have, again, what looks to be this place. Can you see that? Let me see. Hold on. See? It looks to be the same place. So, where you're freaking out, you're not moving in January, May, it's beginning to show its effects because you took care of yourself, because you understood what's going on, because you understand that you have to be stabilized and grounded and you have to be nurturing yourself in order to be able to grow and be able to get what you want, okay? It's a new way of thinking. It's a new way of seeing things. You're going to need this new idea of seeing things. All right. June. You've got more water here, okay? So lots more water. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards now out of 6 that is all about water or is showing water. Your emotions, Pisces, your emotions are needed to be very, very, very watched, okay? They can either be perfect and help you, or they can get out of control and hamper you and block you and keep you stuck. Now, this card is power, and we're seeing lightning, and we're seeing a storm, and it looks like it might be the beginnings of a hurricane, especially with these trees blowing like that. Your emotions can hamper you, but they can also help you grow. You need to understand which way you're going to use them. You need to understand which way is best to use them. If there's a situation around you, if there's a person around you that's keeping you blocked, they're keeping you from moving, it's keeping you from moving. It is totally okay to use your emotions and your strength and your power and get it out of the way. It's okay to say you're toxic to me and I'm letting you go. And it'll probably cause an emotional argument. It'll probably cause some sort of fight, some sort of storm. But it's okay for you to get stuff out of the way. It's okay for that to happen. Just don't do it all of the time. And be very, very sure who the storm is directed at, okay? Destruction sometimes creates growth. July. And again, we have perspective. How are you seeing these things? How are you understanding these things? What are you doing to understand these things, okay? So, this card, it can look like you're being pulled in. It can look like you're getting dissolved. It can look like you're getting eaten. But I want you to take a new perspective, okay? If we start from the center, because we've already been through the trenches, We start at the center because we're already at the worst spot. And we start to go out the other direction. Do you see that? So the beginning of the year and last year probably brought you in. And you've changed. You've learned to stabilize. You've learned to take care of yourself. You've learned how to control your emotions. Now you're allowed to be reborn. Okay? It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective all of the time. Okay? August. Are you ready for August 2019? Ancestors. Okay. This card, I constantly read it as, what have your generations, what have your ancestors taught you? How do they hold you back? How does this training hold you back? How does this mindset hold you back? Coming right after perspective, that is a very, very powerful card, okay? So you've been asked, especially with this one in May, your new beginnings, right? You've been asked with the new promise in February to really pay attention to your perspective. A lot of this is coming from what you were trained as a child. What people told you as a child. Were you told you were too emotional? Were you told you were too sensitive? Were you told you were a sissy? Were you told you have to be this particular way? For example, women were told we have to be at the end of every single thing we ever do. Put your husband first, put your family first, put your community first, put any groups you're in first, put the school first, put your job first. Everything goes before you, right? If you ask for help, you're weak. If you take care of yourself, you're selfish, right? Do you understand what I'm saying here? That is a perspective we need to change, okay? You hear it all the time. If your cup is empty, how are you supposed to fill anybody else up? It's 100% true. If you are so drained and you are so emotional and you are so just disgusted because you're so exhausted, how are you going to take care of anybody else? That power storm, that emotional outburst from right here from June, that's like constantly happening if you're constantly empty, if you're constantly giving when you have nothing left. Okay, so this card about changing, or about what you were trained, I'm going to say it's what you were trained because it's right after the perspective, comes right below nurturing. Your ancestors, your family, your parents, your grandparents, whoever it is, right? Aunts, uncles, have told you to not take care of yourself because that's stingy, that's selfish. You know what? It's time to change that perspective and take care of yourself because otherwise you're not going to be able to get through it. You're going to be constantly angry with somebody. You're going to be constantly overthinking something. You're going to be constantly in a state of emotional turmoil, and it's not worth it. It's not worth trying to keep somebody else's opinion of you strong and healthy when you're not strong and healthy. Okay? So let's take a little mini break for just a second and look at the year so far. In the beginning of the year, you have the desire to move, the desire to get those goals. It's just, let's go, let's get them. I want them now. Go, 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 right? But there's things that you need to understand. There's things that you need to do to prepare you for these goals. And it's frustrating you that that's not happening. Okay. Taking care of yourself is going to help you get those goals, because taking care of yourself is going to help you with this trimester of the year where you're emotional and you might be having outbursts at people that don't need to have outbursts. And you're emotional and you want change and you want it now, but nobody's listening because you've never, ever, ever requested it. Or you request help, but then you tell them, I can do it better by myself. I do it this way. You're not doing it. Just move. Or it's time to let people go, but you don't know which people to let go. And because you haven't taken time to take care of yourself, you haven't taken time to actually think out what needs to be gone. You just know something needs to be changed. Okay? What needs to be changed? Your perceptions, the perceptions that you grew up with. It needs to be changed in order to be able to move, in order to be able to cope, in order to be able to grow. Okay? And it's perfectly fine for this to happen. If you need somebody to blame it on when you start changing and people start freaking out, blame it on me. Maria told me to do it. Okay? All right. September. I lost what month we were on. We have communication. All right. So this man has climbed up a mountain. And now he sits on the mountain and he speaks to this eagle. Eagle is very spiritual. Eagle is able to see so much more than what we see. The fact that there's a full moon right here too is also telling us that intuition is being spoken to. Okay? So we can say that this communication is happening with the spiritual side. It's happening with divinity. With whatever you consider God to be. If that's the Christian God, if that's pantheons of whatever mythology, if that is the universe, if it's science, whatever you consider God to be, in September, it's time for you to sit down and talk with them. All right? It's time for you to sit down and understand what they want from you and what you want from them and what you want from life. What are you trying to do? What is it that you need to change? What is it that you don't need to change? What is it you just need a new perspective on? All right? Meditation during September would be brilliant. Just saying. All right. Actually, meditation throughout the whole year would be brilliant. Meditation is brilliant. October. This has been a rough month for all of the other signs, so let's see for you. Blessings. All right, so we see the rainbow, right? It's like, oh, wow, there's a rainbow. Rainbows are special. They are blessings. It's a new way of seeing things. It's seeing things. It is a mixture of two different kinds of thoughts and emotions. But let's take a look down here. There's still some rainstorms happening. Rainbows usually happen right before the rainstorm is done or when the rainstorm is done. Again, it's all about your perception. What are you going to focus on? Are you going to focus on the rainbow? Oh, look at the beautiful rainbow. There's some good luck coming. Or are you going to focus on that storm? Oh my God, it's still raining. And then, taking this a step further, are you going to see blessings where people see blessings, or are you going to see blessings where people don't see blessings? All about your perception. Okay? And that's not that bad, this one for you guys. November. Radiance. Look at the sun. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it warming? Don't you just want to stand next to it forever? And yes, you'd kind of do. Even though you know you're going to get hot sooner or later, you still kind of want to stand there. Just because look at its energy. It's got so much vibrant, warming, beautiful energy. Right? You are this sun. You are this energy. You are this warmth. That's what you want, isn't it? You want people to be around you and be happy around you. You want people to feel safe and comfortable around you. It's time to change how you react, how you perceive to be able to do this. And then, you know what? If you want people to feel good around you, you must feel good around yourself. You have to take care of yourself and make sure you're fully charged before you start giving out to anybody else, okay? Before you can make anyone else feel warm, you need to be feeling warm. Before you fill up anybody else's cup, you better have your cup full plus the pitcher over on the side or the teapot over on the side full. Okay? Do not empty yourself out to fill somebody else up. That's not what this card says. This sun is not dying in order to make something else warm. You see what I'm saying? All right. December. Reflection. I love December for shadow work, for reflecting, for looking back at the whole year and deciding what I loved, what I would like to change, what I sucked at, and how I can change that also. Okay, so this card, reflection, the water, the emotional state is reflecting everything else. Do you see that? It is time to sit back. I like that it's under the nurturing card. One card away, but under the nurturing card. It's time to sit back, and I'm going to show you something really important in just a minute, and really think about everything that's happened this year. What did you love? What did you not like? What would you have changed? What would you have not changed for anything in the world? What kind of thoughts did you change? How did you start taking care of yourself? What kind of perceptions did you change? How did you start stabilizing and grounding yourself? How were you filling your cup before you started filling everybody else's cup? Okay, so one of the things I wanted to show you on this reflection, it is right underneath the generations, the ancestors, and also right underneath nurturing. You really, in December, need to reflect on what it is, because you might not have done it. You might have really tried to get away from this. What it is that your ancestors, your family have taught you, what your religion has taught you, what your culture has taught you. And how does that work on nurturing you? How does that work in helping you grow? And if it doesn't, how can you make it work on helping you grow? Okay? All right. So, the third trimester of the year. Learning to communicate with your divinity. Learning to communicate with whatever you find is spiritual. Learning to communicate with yourself. Learning to see blessings, whereas other people might not see them. Just because somebody else doesn't see it as a blessing doesn't mean it's not a blessing for you. It could be something wonderful for you and everybody else is freaking out. Okay? If you want to make people feel good, you want to be this radiant sun and everybody just loves being around you, you need to make sure that you've got the energy to do it. You need to make sure that your cup and your teapot are always full before you start offering anybody else tea. Okay? You don't want to drain yourself. It's going to make you feel like crap. It's going to make you feel like a failure. It's going to make you feel honestly like you're the living dead and it sucks. All right? Do not do it. Please. If for any other reason, just to say, Maria, this month was sucky wrong, don't let it happen. Okay? And then reflection. In December, it's time to sit back and really reflect. Reflect on the whole year. Reflect on what you want for 2020. Reflect on your generations, your ancestors, on how you're taking care of yourself, on how you're changing, on how everything this year happened, what you want, what you don't want, what you liked, what you hated. Reflect on it all. So that way, everything that you did this year, everything that you learned and changed this year will follow you into the next year and make you so much stronger. All right? Okay. Now we get into the closing. Here is your year in advance, Pisces. It's an awesome year. There's lots of work to be done, but there's work to be done every year. Okay? There's lots of changes to be done, but these changes are going to make you stronger and better than ever before. If you liked the reading, please hit like. Like, smash that like button like crazy. Subscribe. That way you know anytime a new video comes up. All right? Since you're Pisces, I'm assuming Pisces Sun, watch your rising and your moon signs. It'll help give you a little bit more information for your year. If you are a Pisces rising, a Pisces ascendant, a Pisces sun, or you're watching this because somebody you love is Pisces, make sure you go watch yours. Make sure you watch all of the zodiacs that you need to be watching, okay? If you don't know what your sun or moon is, or I mean what your moon and your rising is, go to the website. I've got an option available to find out, okay? So, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. I truly appreciate it. You're going to have a wonderful, very productive 2019, and I can't wait to see you next year for your 2020 year in advance. Bye.